Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've made a video. I am still pregnant. I don't know if you could tell. Maybe here, tilt the camera. Definitely still pregnant. Having some pre-labor warm-up stuff, so that's good. It's raining here, so hence why I'm inside. And you can hear the dog barking. The dog does not like to be inside. But I really not, if I feel called and, guided to do a video, then I'm doing them right now. We've had a lot going on in our household. We had redone our bathroom. If you've been following on my journey, we have a homestead, and our house was a pole barn that was a winery, and we've been converting it into a house. When we first moved in, to try to just make things work as quickly as possible, we put our tub up. It's a slab foundation, and if you know anything about slab foundations, to change the plumbing at all, you have to go down into concrete. That's not fun. And so at the time, we just decided to build up, and that's what we did. We had help with that. And it had been apparent for a while, almost instantly, when we started using that tub, that was not going to work long term, especially as my husband and I age. At some point this last year, I actually slipped coming out of the tub. And as I became more and more pregnant, despite all of the weight loss with being vegan and everything from the alpha-gal syndrome, it was becoming harder and harder to get in and out of the tub. And this kind of renovation project was supposed to be done this spring, and it got delayed with my illness. And it finally got to the point where I was like, we have to do this. We have to do this before the baby comes, or I'm going to lose my mind. Because this project is supposed to be a bathroom and a pantry. So I can get all my food out of totes and milk crates, and it will be very home-like then. So anyway, we have been in the midst of that, and there's not a lot of, with being pregnant and, literally building life inside of my body, there just has not been a lot of extra time for me to do meditations with everyone. I am still getting up and in the morning, finding my center, my focus, and I hope everybody else is able to do that. And I'm finding it easier throughout the day. I mean, everybody has a day that it just doesn't click and jive, and you wish you'd stayed in bed, and maybe that we should. And as a parent, you can't always do that. However, most days I'm finding I'll get off a little bit, and then I refocus, recenter. And so today, though, I wanted to talk about, I had something come up where I have hired somebody for my birth and everything to help me, and they wonderfully had a trip planned. Then it looked like it wasn't going to work out, and then it worked out. And all right here close to the end. And for this person, I'm so happy for them that everything worked out, like the universe delivered to them. And so we were finding a backup for while they're gone, just in case baby comes while they're gone. And I'm like, okay. And the first person they set me up with, I think we get gut feelings and things, and I just knew, and I'm such a people pleaser, and I wanted to make it so much easier on this person that was helping me, that at first I was ignoring my gut feelings, and it just became louder and louder. And it's interesting because we're taught to ignore our gut feelings, our instincts, our guidance system, really. And we're taught that from a very extremely young age to, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to follow the rules of school or society or whatever, even if it's at your own personal cost. And something that I had developed from well into childhood is people pleasing and not wanting to make waves with people I know. It's interesting. I think especially in my early 20s, was okay being extremely hard on a perfect stranger. Um, but because that's acceptable on some level, I don't know why. But not okay if it's somebody you're going to know and interact with again. And it's interesting because I have friends that are the exact opposite. They can't speak up for themselves with a stranger, but they have no problem doing it with family and friends. So there's all sorts of wonderful people in the world, and if you're like me and you're a people pleaser to people then it can be very complicated sometimes because you just don't want to let them down. You don't want to make the waves. But this is something I've worked very hard on. This is somebody that I'm very comfortable with and love. And so I was just like, within 12 hours or so, I knew, like, I unfortunately had to say something. And so I did. And that's hard because you're putting yourself out there, you're being vulnerable, and it could do whatever. They can do whatever with it once you tell them. And over the past few months, when I've been pretty vulnerable and raw with people that I had been close to, it had not always been well received, and it's pretty much canceled some friendships. And as hard as that is, that's, I'm learning that as adults, or just as people, maybe, because kids are usually pretty blunt. We need to communicate, and then the other person can take with it what they will. But if it's bothering us, nobody can know how you're feeling unless you tell them. But then that lends to vulnerability and risk because you might lose them. And that we see this in relationships too. We're not honest with partners and things like that because we don't want to create waves, but then we're not being our authentic self. And frequently people are miserable. But you're not communicating. So it was really wonderful that they immediately heard me and said, "It's okay. I think we can resolve this." And they connected me with another person, and on an instinctual and gut level, that was just amazing. And I see this really as myself, my higher self, the universe, source. Everybody is taking care of me the way I need to if I am just receptive and listen to my guidance system. And when I ignore my guidance system, then I have more hiccups, bumps, and problems. And I was able to call my friend and be like, thank you. I feel heard, I feel listened to, and I feel safe and good about all this situation. And that's a really amazing feeling. And I love that I have found people that I can be my raw, authentic self with, that I can go to and say, I have this need, I have this problem, I have this, issue, whatever, and that they make it a priority for them and they help resolve it. And it's funny because I think we're taught that we need to have all these friends and everything, and I keep refining my friend list on Facebook down further and further and further. And because I I want the genuine love and friendships, and I want people that are putting in and giving as much as I am willing to do and give. And so that's been it's been good, and I sometimes feel hermitish, I guess. And I'm really not. I just I really don't want to waste my time on anything else, or people that aren't going to be real and genuine with me, that are filled with love. And when something goes well, that they cheer for me. They love it. They celebrate with me. When something's going wrong, they'll grieve with me, and then when I'm ready, they troubleshoot and how can we make this, it's more genuine, it's more human. And I really love that I'm having people brought in and staying in my life that are like that. And I think that goes with how I've had this shift, especially since being diagnosed with the illness. When I was talking to this person today, and to see how we were syncing up, I said I had this really 2-week period where I think you have a pity party if you get a kind of a bad diagnosis or whatever. And I really struggled, and then I kind of snapped out of it after somebody made a few recommendations, like Abraham Hicks and Wayne Dyer and stuff like that. And then that shift allowed my household to shift and things like that. And that's you don't undo that shift. I saw a meme on Facebook that said, once you put these sunglasses on, you can't take them off. And that's what it feels like. Like I refuse to go back to how I saw the world before. And if other people don't get it or can't empathize with it, then whatever. But I have a few people in my life that don't get it, but their parents or whatever, and I feel a little more called to be patient with them. But a lot of people, they want to stay in the cycle of whether it's grief and pity or lack and things like that, and I can't be in that, and I don't want to be in that. And I like being with people who are encouraging me in the way that I encourage, which would be, how can we flip this? What is going right here? There's 10 things and 9 of them are going right and 1 is going wrong. Why are we focused on the one thing? I want people that are going to remind me about the 9 good things. And I feel like the more I can envision and affirm and dream and do all the things that build my world, it's beautiful. And I couldn't go back. I don't want to go back to any other way. And that doesn't mean there's not hiccups. There's days that I'm like, oh, and instead of going, well, it's a bad day and I'm just going to let it, you know, I'm constantly trying to get back into, can I recenter? Can I refocus? Can I find whatever the 9 things are that are going right? And that shift in perspective, that change, I would wish for everyone. But not everyone is ready to do that. So, I don't know, at the end of the day, I'm hoping that some people will get whatever they need out of that. If you need a little push to keep going, to keep trying. It's funny, I had years of trying to get and remember and make that shift, and it really took that illness. And I don't think that would be the case with everyone. That was just the case for me. But it took the illness and getting to the diagnosis and hitting a new form of bottom for me to go to make that shift. And you know, that's one of the things of, not everything bad that's happening to you is necessarily, it's not bad. It's actually good. I would not change a single thing over this past year. I feel like this illness on so many levels saved me. It's still hard sometimes. You know, right now I can't have really any pork in my house. The smell causes cardiac symptoms. Touching it burns my skin. And it's hard. I redid the acupuncture again, more aggressive this time. And I'm very hopeful and optimistic and have a lot of enthusiasm over, you know, this is going to make it so I can be how I want with my family, because I like cooking for my family. And I like doing those things that I, even if I can't or don't want to eat it, I still like preparing food for them. And I'd like to not have to be so strict on, these are my utensils and my plates and my cutting boards and knives, you know, things like that. So, kind of the simple things that we take not advantage, but we assume are always going to be there. And it's similar probably to losing a person when they die, and you go, oh, you know, you can't get them back, you can't have them back. Well, you can, kind of. You know, you can talk to them, you can listen to them and things, and that's not what we're taught. But it gives you that sense of appreciation. And I'm definitely to that point, and I was struggling a bit with, and I honestly think this is probably why the acupuncture didn't work as well the first time, because I was still struggling with my own voice. I don't, there are aspects of being vegan that I don't like, but I feel much healthier and energetic, and it's really something I want to continue, but it is a financial strain at times, and I was having a hard time voicing that, and now I'm not, and so I really feel this time that the acupuncture is going to work a lot better, and there's a lot of momentum going for that now. So I guess at the end of the day, are you listening to your own guidance system? It's there for a reason. Don't ignore it. And I can feel it. Sometimes it's so hard that it's like, you know, you just get hit in the gut and like you've been punched. And so when you're having those moments and then you're sitting there literally trying to convince yourself that you're not feeling that way or that it's okay or, whatever. No, I can't do that game and I can't play that game anymore at all. And it, it, when I do, I pay for it. And usually I find I actually can't do it anymore. And I, go ahead and say or do whatever I need to do. So, um, if you are struggling with that, I would highly encourage you to really think about how that the universe is trying to probably find your path of, like Abraham Hicks says, your path of least resistance. And when you fight that, then you're making more resistance. And you get to decide how much resistance you want to give to a situation, but I like it when it's easier. So I hope this is a good video. I don't know. Maybe next time I see everyone, we will have a baby to meditate with. So I have lots of love for all of you. Wonderful day.